Okay, yes, sorry, Debbie and Sally, hi, welcome everybody on Facebook and YouTube as well to our Thursday morning practice. Let me just jump on the bigger camera. Actually, we'll start off with some self-massage. So I'm just going to take my glasses off. Let's start on the scalp. And we'll just start by going all over the head like raindrops all over the scalp. Just breathing easy in and out through the nose. And then bringing your thumbs, just gently pressing right there in sort of like just above the nose, pressing up and then spreading out through the brows, pressing in and spreading, pressing in. So it's good if you wake up, maybe sometimes waking up with a little blocked nose, if it's a little bit warm or a little bit stuffy. And then let's just gently tap the cheekbones. By the side of the nose. Just getting the blood flowing into the face. You can do a light, very light circle on the temples. Going down the earlobes, squeezing, and having a little pull on the lobes there. And down, just squeezing that soft tissue on the ear. Pull. All the time just breathing easy in and out through the nose. You can come under the ears. And then work your way back right into the back of the neck. Here you can feel as if you're lengthening, you can almost like lift the head up a little bit and get the thumbs deep into those big tight muscles that often tighten up down the side of the neck there. Great if you're getting a headache, just to gently massage here. And then we'll come down to chest. So just gently tapping each side of the sternum. This might sound really loud because I've got the mic on there. And will make you take a fuller breath. You might want to take a fuller breath in. And let go through the mouth. Cleansing and clearing. Remembering that when we take those occasional fuller breaths in, slow full breaths in and release, that's fine. We don't end up over breathing. Let's do another full breath in. And then let's go down the arm. So we're going down the inside of the arm. And then you turn the arm over and come back up the outside of the arm. Just gently tapping into the shoulder. turn again down the inside. Up the outside. Into the shoulder. Do one more down the inside. Up the outside. Into the shoulder. And then we'll go the other side, so down the inside from the shoulder. Just be careful if you've got rings on or anything, or watches on. Up the outside. Into the shoulder. That feels good in the shoulder. And again, if you find a spot that you feel you want to spend a little bit more attention on, then you can do that as well. Up the outside. Shoulder. One more time. Down the inside. Up the outside. Into the shoulder. Good. And then just give the arms a shake. So just shake the arms out. Shake, shake, shake. You can do full breaths. A couple of full breaths. Nice. I'm just going to swap cameras. We're then going to go to the lower back. So we're going into either side of the spine. So just tapping down to the tailbone. Just getting some vibration through the lower back. And then we're going to go back of the legs and side of the legs down. And then you're going to come around and come back up the inside of the legs. And then you're going to start a little bit of knocking in the hips. And that just reminded me that yesterday I walked into a glass coffee table and my shin is throbbing, and I just made it even worse then. And then back down the back and the outside of the legs. Come up the inside of the legs. And then just tapping in the hips. One more time with the lower body. Back and side of the legs. Up the inside. Inside of the thighs. And then into the hips. Knocking in the hips there. And then gently on the belly. So just belly, lower belly. Around the belly button. Nice. And then let's just do some shaking. So just start to pump the legs. If you want to hit the heels into the ground, that's fine. So tapping the heels into the ground. Really just letting the shoulders go. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the upper back. And then bringing the wrists into it. And again, if you feel you want to take a fuller breath, or a sigh out, and then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And just stand for a minute. And with that self-massage and with the shaking, just feel the tingling throughout the body. Notice that tingling sensation. Blood flowing, energy flowing. And then taking your feet shoulder width apart, let's go into knocking. Just using the ground. And just really relaxing the upper body, relaxing the shoulders and the back. lifting and lengthening the spine. Sensing that rotation vertebra by vertebra. Working your way up from the lower back, mid back, upper back. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, the arms are just moving with the momentum of the power from the ground and the lower body and the hips. And then just slowing it down, slowing down. Let's do a stretch of the spine. So arms float up, connect the palms. So if I just come a little bit closer so you can see, your palms are connecting like that. Keeping a little bit of bend in the elbows. The hips stay, the lower body stays stable, and you just side bend. Let's do a couple more. Side bend, and then back down. So just watch this next one. What we don't want to do is the hips going necessarily with it. See if you can keep the hips stable and just use that to take the ribs lower towards that hip, so you get the stretch through this opposite side here. So we really want to get that lateral flexion of the spine, lateral flexion of the spine. And then back down. As the arms float up, just visualize the vertebra extending, so the spine is extending and lifting tall. And back down. Do one more. Nice and easy, no force. And back down. Keep the arms going into flying, so arms float up and then float down. Get that softness in the wrists, softness in the elbows. Shoulders are relaxed here, elbows are heavy here. Let's bring the breath with it, so breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. As you breathe in, shift the weight to your left hand side and then just bring your right knee up. And then very, very slowly as you step back down, shift the weight. Balance. Up. Step out. Ball of the foot down, heel of the foot down, shift that weight. Step out slowly. Keep that nice flowing movement going, flowing breath going. Breath in. Some mornings you just go, oh yeah, I can balance. And other mornings you're all over the place. Breath in. Shoulders relaxed, breathing smoothly. No breath holds. Standing tall. Let's do one more each side. Balance. Balance. The slower you do it, the more challenging it is. And then take a rest there. That looked good on Zoom. Hopefully nobody's fallen over on Facebook. Let's do big hip circles. It's going in one direction. Hips back, hips to the side. When the hips come to the front, bring that, lift that sternum a little bit as well. Something I often forget to do is you get there, push the hips forwards, and you almost keep this upper body tight here. So just lift the sternum so you get a stretch through the front of the body here as well, and you extend your back, you extend your thoracic spine. If it's easier, you can just rest your hands on the hip creases there if that helps. You feel as if your arms are just dangling. And then let's switch directions. And then come up to standing. And then we'll do our coordination. So you've got your teacup in your hand there. So all we do with the upper body is follow exactly what we've just been doing with the lower body. So the hip, if I mirror you, goes to the left. And then that brings the arm with it. And then you spiral the arm through as the hips go back. The arm goes behind you. Palm is facing upwards. As the hips come to the other side, the palm is facing up there. This is the bit where people tend to be getting a little bit stuck. Bring the hips forwards, lift the chest, and then you can get the arm above your head and then back to the start position. So it's that sticky bit that tends to be as you come through here. Watch that you're not leaning over too far here. You lift and come through. And then you just go into that nice flowing movement. But focus on the movement coming from the hips and the arm following. Just breathing easy. Just going to that nice smooth flowing, not pushing too hard or moving too far out of your comfortable range of motion, of movement. Let's do one more on this side. It doesn't have to be a massive big movement. And we come back to starting, then swap sides, palm out, hip glide side, back, side, overhead. Just natural breathing, just lightly breathing in and out through the nose. You don't have to breathe in any particular way with the movement. Let's do one more. And then back to start. Good. Shake it out. It's looking good there on Zoom again. Everybody seems to be easing into that flow now. It's just that learning process. It's just you're having to think about it. And then once you've got that into your memory and your movement, then you don't have to think about it. So we don't have to overthink it. Just in the Zoom session, just before we started, we were talking about the feet. So let's just do a little bit of a focus of work on the feet and ankles. So what I'd like you to do just to start off with is just to stand in our shoulder width apart and just find your balance. So just get that nice tall spine and just check out where your hips are. So we haven't done this balance for a while, just to bring that focus of your hips balancing over the ankles or the heels. So there's 3 dantians that we talked about in the past. And your lower dantian is in this area here below the belly button towards the spine. It's the center of gravity or center of mass of your pelvic area. If it's too far forwards, you're pushing the hips forwards. If it's too far back, you're leaning forwards. So just bring that center of mass back a little bit. You'll feel as if you're going to fall backwards. So just even bring it that far back where you feel as if you've got a real tendency to fall backwards, and then just tilt that upper body slightly forwards so you've got your head and your chest balanced over the hips. I remember seeing my mum when I was younger, and this was her default position. That's something that I've copied. So there's always that tendency to that hips to sit forward. So it's always good just to check in with this balanced position here without it being forced, making sure the knees aren't locked as well. And this releases a lot of tightness that we often get in the toes because we often grip with the toes. So with this position here, you can just almost like spread the toes out. So you're not going to be able to see close up, but if you imagine that you've got the ball of your foot in connection to the ground and then just lift and spread the toes. So it's like, I think you can go on YouTube and watch like toe yoga and things like that, but you've got the toes spread. Excuse me. And just see if you can individually place the little toe down and then the toe after the little toe, whatever toe that is, and just work your toes down towards the ground and then go thumb. So it's like playing the piano with the toes. So you're doing little toe, toe that one, middle toe, toe near the big toe, and then the big toe down. So just see if you can just individually, it's really difficult, individually just work those toes down to the ground. And then opposite, so bringing the toes off, lift the big toe. So just work the toes. Because again, we don't tend to work the toes individually. We don't even think about it. And if we have our feet in tight shoes or even just shoes that are compressing those toes together, it tightens all the muscles in the top of the foot. And then the foot, when we're landing, when we're walking and when we're running, isn't getting that nice spread through the foot. We don't get that flow of movement through the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons in the foot. So just work the feet. And once, excuse me, once you've started to work the toes, what we can now do is just roll the feet a little bit. So you can now go onto the outside of the feet and then just roll to the inside. So we're just getting some movement through the top of the foot. So roll onto the outside, so you're resting almost on the outside. If any of this causes pain, obviously stop. So just do it really slowly. Roll onto the outside of the foot, roll onto the inside of the foot. And what you'll find is if you're tight on the top of the foot, this is where it's often you feel that little bit of a blockage. Can you get that nice roll outside and inside? So you're standing on the outside, on the edges of the foot, you're rolling inside. Have that little bit of bend in the knees, because what you'll find is the knees will move in and out, which is fine. So just keep that rolling. And it's almost like you're rolling the toes down as well. So it's like a sequence of movement through the foot. And then just give the ankles a little bit of a shake. And we were also talking about those toe separators, and they are really useful again if you've had your foot encased in a shoe, or if you've got the sort of like tightness in the tendons in the toes. We tend to often tighten the toes up and claw with the toes. You want to get those tendons spread because that works all the way up the leg. So just as it would all the way up the arm, that feeling of when you spread the fingers, it's the same when you spread out the toes as well. Good, now we've really worked our feet and helped to get our feet activated. Let's do a little bit of a tiger just to finish off. So we'll go high up, we'll do tall tiger and really get the feet and the toes spread, really feel stable through the foot. As we sink down, a little bit more weight through the heels, the hips glide back. The toes, you could almost spread the toes here, spread the toes a little bit and then push up through the heels. Extend and lengthen the spine. Slowly down, weight through the heels a little bit. Ball of the foot is connected. You can maybe spread the toes a little bit. Push up through the heels, nice and slow. On the next one, do the step forward. So if I mirror you, we step forwards with the left foot. You still come down the front, but we're shifting the weight onto that left foot. That right heel just peels off the ground. You push up through the left heel, and then you step back. We don't have to go right up here. And then you step forwards with the right foot. Shift your center of gravity, shift your weight over that right hip, through the right leg. Push up through the right heel, come back up to standing. Let's do one more each side. Step. Very, very slowly so that you're in control, you're balanced, stable. Push up through that right heel. Step back, just to finish pulling down the sky, pulling down the heavens. Nice breath in. Slow breath in. Slow breath through the nose out to center yourself, ground yourself. Palms crossed. Bringing your feet together. Just giving yourself a moment just to close the eyes. Letting the body sway and rock. Setting yourself up for the day, taking a nice full breath in through the nose, and at the top of that breath you can open your eyes. Have a little stretch if you need a stretch. Good, we'll finish there. Excellent. A little bit different today, mixing it up a bit, a little bit of self-massage, bit work on the feet. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed the class. The weekend we've got Unlock the Power of Breath workshop. I'm not sure whether I've sent an email out for that. It's just been a bit frantic this week, so I'll get an email out so you've got the link to that if you want to join that. And I've also got the Get the OA workshop as well, so I'll pop emails out for those. If I don't see you at the weekend, I will hopefully see you next Tuesday for our breath work. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Thank you.